Okay, we're at this point now where we're going to walk the talk, the interfaith celebration of the fig tree. So I think, Mary, you had the idea that we could assemble here in the middle, is that right? Do this part, the segment?
Most of the people are kind of in these tables, so I think that
Everybody knows that.
and they have an order.
Okay. Does everybody know that? Yes? Mary told us, right? Yes. Okay. So, the first, who's up first? Do I have that? You want to give that to Mary? Oh, Mary. So, please, thank you. All right.
Yeah, my name is Ikani Fakasiieiki. I'm from Tongan, a very small island in the Pacific Ocean, somewhere in the Pacific Ocean. I'm going to speak not about a fig tree, but about a Ngatae tree. That's what I was asked to speak on. Ngatae tree Ngatae is the name of the tree. Literally mean end or begin, but tree in Tonga we used, when I grew up, we used to grow the Ngatae tree between the neighbors. As we don't have fence, we just grow Ngatae tree between the neighbors. And that's why they call it Ngatae, because Ngatae means end. It marked the boundary between neighbors. So when a Ngatae tree, a line of Ngatae tree, they used to plant it between neighbors, and it marked the end of one space from another space. And it is the task of the two neighbors to look after the Ngatae tree. And from the Ngatae tree, we develop another concept, mean Waha'a Ngatae. Waha'a mean between. And so between the Ngatae tree. And from there, we have another concept called Tauhi. Mean Tauhi is the Tongan word for keep. You keep the Ngatae tree. You keep your space. When you keep the Ngatae tree, mean you keep your space with the neighbors. So, and then we not only use it for our, and then from there we developed the concept of keeping the Ngatae tree between the, or Tauhi Ngatae, I mean you keep the space between your, when the Ngatae tree grow up, it grow up to be a very big tree, and does not really belong to any neighbors. It belongs to both or neither. So it is the task of the two neighbors to keep the Ngatae tree. So when a Ngatae line of Ngatae tree is not well kept, it shows to the community that these two neighbors are not in good relationship. So it is our task to make sure that the community know that we are in good relationship with our neighbor by looking after the Ngatae tree. So when the Ngatae tree is not well kept, the neighbor know that the community know that there is something happening. And it is the community task to work together to make sure that these two neighbors live well and look after each other and do their duty for each other. So from there we develop, does not only refer to the geographical space, it's also refer to our relationship. From there we develop concept about taking care of each other. We say, we have a task or duty to look after each other. So this is the story of Ngatae tree from the very small island in Tonga. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Hello, I'm Rabbi Tamar Molino, and it is a pleasure to be with you today and to wish congratulations to Mary and everyone celebrating the fig tree. I was asked to offer a prayer about a connection with nature, and this is a prayer written by Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav, who lived in the 18th century in Eastern Europe, and he began a spiritual practice of going alone into the woods. It's not really that he began it, but he emphasized it, of going alone into the woods. And his teaching really was that the natural world, and in particular trees, nourished our own spirituality and added their own voices to our prayers. And I do want to say that I believe that the fig tree is something that has nourished my spirituality in my time in Spokane, and I think so for so many of us in connection with community. So here's the prayer by Rabbi Nachman. Grant me the ability to be alone. May it be my custom to go outdoors each day among the trees and grass, among all growing things. And there may I be alone and enter into prayer to talk to the one to whom I belong. May I express there everything in my heart, and may all the foliage of the field, all grasses and trees and plants, awake at my coming to send the powers of their life into the words of my prayer, so that my prayer and speech are made whole through the life and spirit of all growing things, which are made as one by their transcendent source. May I then pour out the words of my heart before your presence like water, O Adonai, and lift up my hands to you in worship on my behalf and that of my children. Thank you.
So I'm Gary Jewell, and I'm on the board, and I was asked to say just a couple of words in the form of I guess a prayer of gratitude, connecting and Reverend Gretchen, you made that connection, the six levels of connection, and the fig tree has this interconnection of stories, but we're interconnected with the trees too. The trees have provided the pulp that makes the paper that tells the stories, and so we give gratitude to, and in the spirit of kinship with creation, the kinship with the trees at your tables, and the trees that provide life for us, including giving of their life just for the tangible thing we take for granted, paper, to tell stories and keep us all connected together. So thank you, Creator of the universe, that we are all brothers and sisters. Human brothers and sisters, all the created order. We are kin, all of us. May you bless the fig tree, continuing to keep us connected to one another and to tell the stories into the future. Amen.
Some have wondered where the name the fig tree came from. And we did a lot of pondering, and we chose Micah 4:4, that everyone would live under their own vine and fig tree, in peace and unafraid. And that was our rationale for choosing that as the name. And one of our committee members, the United Methodist, his daughter actually designed the fig tree logo. Carl Mill.
So I'm Deb Conklin, United Methodist pastor, just down the hill. You can actually probably just get on a skateboard and go down the road to Pushkin to get to my church from here. And
I'm Kaye, Hult. I'm with the United Church of Christ. I also am on the Fig Tree staff.
yes, my first experience of the Fig Tree was 18 years ago when I went to my first Eastern Washington Legislative Conference. Yes, and then I helped put it on for several years. Yeah, so we are going to lead you in singing The Vine and the Fig Tree. How many know this song? Ooh, this is not good.
It's on the...
So the words are on your program. And I first learned this song 40 years ago in campus ministry. And you first learned it?
I think possibly in Scouts. Long time ago.
So this is a very simple tune. And actually what you have is everyone neath their vine and fig tree shall have a peace unafraid. You do that twice. And then we go to the next line. And into plowshares beat their swords, nations shall learn more no more. We do that twice. We're going to sing that all through all together. And then we're going to try to do it as a round. I don't know if we have enough people who know it, but we're going to give it a try. So let's sing. And everyone neath the vine and fig tree shall live at peace and unafraid.
Repeat.
And everyone neath the vine and fig tree shall live at peace and unafraid. And into plowshares beat their swords, nations shall learn war no more. And into plowshares beat their swords, nations shall learn war no more. That was pretty good. So, we're going to try this around. And let's do this side and the head table. Kate. And this side from those two middle things over with me. And what we'll do is we will sing the whole thing through again, all together. And then Kate's side will start over at the beginning, and my side will go back to just the and into plowshares. And we'll make that work. Okay. So we're going to sing it all together the first time. Let's sing it twice, because we don't know it well. Okay, we'll sing it all the way through twice, and then you will follow me when we break into the round. Okay. Oh, at least, till it sounds good. Well, we're going to start all together, and then we'll just break off at one point. Okay. Everyone neath the vine and fig tree shall live peace and unafraid. And everyone neath the vine
Assalamu alaikum, peace be with you. My name is Stromgren. I am the Executive Director of Muslims for Community Action and Support. We feel privileged to be included in tonight's event. The Fig Tree has created many beautiful sets of inclusion, from having workshops to educate, focus on religious diversity, and the inclusions of refugee and immigrants communities to the renewal of hope and reflection of our Mother Earth, and so much more. As you know, the Fig Tree is an excellent resource for our Spokane community, and we often direct our refugee and immigrant communities to utilize it. We would love for everyone to be able to read and understand what the Fig Tree has to offer, so I hope the Fig Tree will be made available in other languages via their website for our Spokane community. To reference and enjoy, we would like to congratulate Mary Stamp and the founders and the staff for the 40th anniversary of the Fig Tree. We as Muslims are told through the Hadith and the Quran that we answer for our actions in the hereafter. Islam places great significance on the conservation of the environmental believers, and we must protect animals, plant life, and preserve the environment by not cutting trees unnecessarily, polluting water, contaminating the atmosphere, and so much more. Several beautiful verses in the book of Allah, the Quran, contain the description of lush green gardens and trees and imply their significance in the world and in the hereafter. Similarly, the words of our Prophet Muhammad ﷺ have established the importance of planting and caring for the trees. While we know the physical benefits of having trees around us, trees have great spiritual importance according to Islam. Allah's messenger said, there is none amongst the Muslims who plant a tree or sow seeds that the bird or persons or an animal eats from it, but is regarded as a charitable gift for him. Planting trees is regarded as a sadaqah, which is charity, meaning blessings and continuous work reach us even in the afterlife. As Muslims, we are instructed to avoid being greedy, share our resources, give alms, and lead the life that focuses our impact on the environment. By leading the life that benefits others rather than taking advantages of others, we are asked categorically not to live a wasteful life. Even the water must be conserved, especially as we conduct ablutions, preparations of standing in front of our Maker when we say our 5 daily prayers. These are just a couple of examples. May Allah guide us with the correct path for our earth, preservation, and bless us with the earth's bounty. Amen.
Good evening. We represent some of the monastics from Sravasti Abbey Monastery in Newport, Washington. We're so happy to be here. And we brought a Bodhi tree. So this is the tree that Buddha was enlightened under. And Bodhi means enlightenment. And the leaves are heart-shaped, which to me symbolizes the big heart of the Buddha that encompasses all sentient beings throughout infinite space with his unbelievable compassion and love. And even to this day, this tree and its leaves symbolize the possibility for every single sentient being to attain the highest goal of awakening. And just like the Buddha got protection and refuge under this tree, in the same way, Buddhists go for refuge to the 3 jewels for protection, to the Buddha, Dharma, and the Sangha. So the Buddha is the teacher who teaches us, gives us his wisdom and knowledge, and the Dharma are the teachings that show the path, step by step, all the way to full awakening. And the Sangha are the community of his disciples who support us and help us and guide us along the way, so each and every one of us can achieve our highest goal of completely eradicating all of our afflictions and developing our highest qualities to our maximum potential. So we'd like to share this chant, the 4 measurables.
But I do want to say that this little Bodhi tree comes from the grandchild of the original Bodhi tree that the Buddha awakened in. The seeds were germinated in 2020 during the beginning of the COVID lockdown. They came to life. The tree was estimated to be 800 years old. And so on behalf of Sravasti Abbey and all that the fig tree does, we would like to offer to the fig tree our little baby Bodhi tree. She's about 6 years old. She has her maintenance and her growing so that she can live. She may grow to be 100 feet tall and 2,000 years old, but we're going to give it to Mary because we know she takes care of things very well. And then we're taking to heart Reverend Thompson's saying that the power of words. So we have 2 things that we would like to give on behalf. First, to all of you, a prayer that we do every day in community at the Abbey. They're called the 4 measurable thoughts. The power of speech is so incredible. And these 4 lines we say, they're on the insert below the beautiful song that we just had from Reverend Conklin and Reverend Hult. And then we have some banners we want to present to Dean Heather on behalf of the Abbey and also to Victory.
And if you could join with us, that would be great
We
also.
do 1 time and then 3 times.
May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachment and hatred. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachment and hatred. May all beings have happiness. May they be free from suffering. May they find the joy that has never known suffering. May they be free from attachment and hatred.
And then the second thing we wanted to do is that one of our stories from the county is that we live in a fairly conservative Republican county. And after the 2020 election, there were some not very kind banners, people having very strong feelings about how that election turned out. And so as people came into our community, saw these flags and they saw these banners, and our little interfaith group of about 5 of us said, we have to communicate something differently. We have a community that is full of good-hearted people, and we don't want people to come through here being afraid for themselves. And so the community, the little interfaith community got together and we made 2 banners. There are over 200 of them now all over the country, including on the ranch posts, the barns, the hay silos, the churches in Newport. And we want to offer 2 of them. One of them is for Fig Tree, and it says, let's see, the fig tree is going to get, be humble, the yellow one, listen deeply, and give compassion. And Mary can put that wherever she wishes on her home in the garden. And for Heather, for Dean Heather,
for St. John's, for being such an open, welcoming space for all of the faith religions. You have welcome diversity, choose harmony, and show kindness. So worship all.
Here, hopefully you all can hear me. My name is Brianna Dilts. I'm the Eastern Washington Regional Organizer with Faith Action Network. So fittingly, I'd like to offer kind of a reflection and call to action around trees and the fig tree and building a future that we can all look forward to. So as we've all learned here today, our sacred texts, stories, and histories remind us of the importance of our connections with nature. And similarly, many of the qualities of trees connect us with our values. Like our texts, stories, and histories, trees span the generations and tell the stories of their lives. One of my favorite memories as a kid was visiting the Redwood National Park in California and looking up and seeing the giant trees spanning towards the sky and their giant roots, and looking at the fallen stumps and seeing those kind of endless circles. I imagined how long these trees have just been existing and present, and what they must have felt and witnessed. Seeing the changes, especially as humans, with our relationship changing with nature from one of stewardship to one of exploitation and extraction. So trees can remind us that life is much bigger than our present moment, and I pray that they not only remind us to live for the well-being of the future, but to spur us to act now for the future. And together here, we can all act for a better future, for the generations to come. We can act tangibly in our lives to care for the earth and for each other, as we do here today, and the fig tree does a great job of doing. But we can also learn and advocate together for wider scale change. May the trees that turn and grow toward the light inspire us to strive towards justice in all areas of life. And may our roots in our cultures, traditions, communities, give us the strength to weather the difficult times that might be ahead, just like the trees. And now I'd like to pass it to Amanda for a more specific call to action.
Thanks, everybody. Well, yeah, I have one last call to action for you, but I want you first to take one big deep breath in. Breathe out. Okay, so millions of carbon molecules attached to 2 oxygen molecules in the form of carbon dioxide were just released from us. And the trees on your tables are grabbing those carbon molecules from the air. They're grabbing those carbon molecules, and they're using those carbon molecules to grow taller, to actually build their structure. And they don't need the oxygen, so they're giving it back to us. That's chemistry, that's how it works. I mean, it's a simplified version of it all. But the trees here tonight, all night long, have been taking in our breath to build their trunks and branches. So these trees are made of us, including this beautiful Bodhi tree right here is now made of everyone here. And we, in turn, are made of these trees, right? The oxygen that we've been breathing comes from these trees. So that's how interconnected we are to trees. They are truly our partners in being alive in the world. And in 2024, when we face a climate crisis, we really need to rely on that partnership. Not only are they sequestering carbon and providing oxygen, but they're cooling our city down, which is so important. There is not a way for us to cool down our homes without spending additional money and energy, except when we talk about the shade from trees. This is such an important partner in protecting the quality of life of the citizens of our city. There's another anniversary happening this year. It's the 50th anniversary of the World's Fair, Expo 74. And so we have, 50 years ago, the legacy of Riverfront Park left for us. So when you're in Riverfront Park and you see a mature tree, that was planted 50 years ago for Expo 74.
And so, as part of the 50th anniversary, we want to extend what we're calling the Expo Forest and grow that throughout the city. And so we're going to be planting 500 trees from May 7th to May 11th throughout Spokane, especially in neighborhoods that need them most. So we're extending this forest to where it needs to grow, to areas that weren't invested in 50 years ago, that need that investment now. So please join us if you can. This is Tuesday through Saturday. It's all ages, all volunteers welcome. There's free meals provided, and thank you so much for all the Fig Tree does to amplify this kind of community work. So.
One of the joys of participating in the World Council of Churches Assembly is to bring back some songs that maybe in another language. And so we have a song that's in Zulu, and the words are, "Come walk with us, the journey is long." And Steve and Flora will help lead that.
Actually, I need you to stand because this is going to be kind of a chant. And if your body wants to move and needs to move on this, you can do that. If your hands want to come together on this, you can do this. And we're going to do this, Steve and I will put the rhythm on the drum. And that's where it said, it's a song that was sung at the World Council. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. All right, so we'll try that. And I know what good singers you are when you have just not the words before, right? Or the music. So, Steve, want to give us a beat? Da 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 la 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 la. That's kind of the tune, okay? Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Bakulu, Bakulu, Bakulu Wetu. Bakulu, Bakulu, Bakulu Wetu. Bakulu, Bakulu, Bakulu Wetu. Bakulu, Bakulu, Bakulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Come walk with us, for the journey is long. Come walk with us, for the journey is long. Come walk with us, 'cause the journey is long. Come walk with us, 'cause the journey is long. The journey, the journey, 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 the journey is long. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu. Okay, no, we got it. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Bakulu, Bakulu, Bakulu Wetu. Bakulu, Bakulu, Bakulu Wetu. Bakulu, Bakulu, Bakulu Wetu. Bakulu, Bakulu, Bakulu. One time. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. Hamanati Mukulu Wetu. All right.
Good evening. Well, this is a first for me. I never get the last word. I'm pretty excited about that in some ways. My name is Anastasia Winlander. I am a professor at Gonzaga University in the Department of Religious Studies. And I am also a board member, and I serve as the moderator of the board. I was trying to remember how I got on the board, but apparently this is my 11th year, Mary tells me. Unfortunately, it is also my last year, so this evening is very bittersweet for me. When Mary asked for me to say a few closing words, I actually feel like I'm kind of speechless, other than to say that the fig tree for the last more than a decade has been such an important part of my professional and personal life. And I have been so personally enriched by the fig tree. I've met a lot of you who are sitting here through my encounter with the fig tree. I think actually I started my journey with the Eastern Washington Legislative Conference, and I think Scott Cooper is the one responsible for that. So thank you, Scott. I think they were looking for another Roman Catholic, and I was an easy target. Thank you so much, Scott. I would just like to say that the board of directors of the Fig Tree are my good friends and people I love so much. And I know so many of you feel the same way. And so I thank you, Mary, and all my friends, the board, and all of you for letting me be a part of the Fig Tree over the years. And you're probably not rid of me. I'm sure I'll still pop up here and there again. But I think that it's only right for us to end this evening with prayer, even though we've been praying all along, I think. Loving Creator, we thank you for the earth, which produces and nurtures trees and all living things. We thank you for people and communities who work for justice, so that we can live in peace and harmony on this good earth. We thank you for all the people who support the Fig Tree and its mission, the editors and writers, those people, faith communities, organizations and events who are featured in our stories, and for the volunteers who give their time and resources. And we thank you for this evening, for those who harvested and prepared the food that nourished our bodies, for the music and the speakers who uplifted our souls, and for all of you who are gathered here tonight to honor, support, and give witness to the good work of the Fig Tree. As we leave here, let us continue this work like trees with deep roots and long, strong branches that produce the fruit of love, compassion, and justice.
That was the last word.